Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Alex Moore. How you doing, Alex?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's nice to meet you.
And to you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to have you for the first interview.
This is true. This is my very first outside interview I have done outside of a cast commentary with Funimation. So, congratulations. You're the first interview.
Bonus. Alright, so we have some questions we want to ask you.
Sure.
First of all, what's it like working in the industry today?
It's amazing. Right now with Funimation, because of the deal that we've brokered with a lot of Japanese licensors, we've been able to do the broadcast dubs and some simul dubs at the same time. So a lot of our voice actors are very busy. We're in and out every week doing shows, recording as fast as we can to get them out to the fans. So it's a very exciting, a very raucous time we're having.
Yeah, the broadcast dubs. I've been seeing a lot of that.
Oh yeah, it's. I'm actually in the booth today after this to do my last bit of recording for Pandora and the Crimson Shell as Blit. So that's been a fun character. I'm gonna miss her.
Alrighty. So, speaking of anime, what's your favorite anime you have worked on?
Well, they're all. I mean, such an actor answer. They're all my favorite anime, but for different reasons. Devil is a part-timer, where I played Susanoo Kamizuki, was my first big role that I got to play. So that was my favorite because it was a learning experience for me. I kind of went through we called it the Bevins boot camp. So he's like, you need to do this way, you need to do this way. I'm like, okay. And it really shaped the way that I work in the booth. So that was fantastic. Fairy Tale was fun when I was playing Flare. Hello, Blondie, the crazy redhead during the Grand Magic Games arc, I think it is, was a big departure for me vocally, because up to that point I had been playing kind of computer voice characters or something really, really small. So playing something more affected. She's crazy and she kind of affects the crazy voice. So being able to do that was quite a departure for me, and it's such a known character. She's such a known entity that I was a little scared and intimidated by it because she's so well known. People have this expectation of how she should sound and how she should act, and for the most part, I think the feedback on that has been very positive. So that's always fun. Yeah, I've got. And I love all the characters, even like little bit parts that I play, from like scientist to be in like one episode, and like scream and die in an episode of Attack on Titan where I just screamed. That's all I did on that show. Like if you listen very closely, anytime you hear this very high pitched air raid siren like scream in the background, pretty sure that's me. Totally almost blew my voice out on that. But it was fun. I mean, it was a great show to be on, and there's such recognition with that title that you're like, oh, you were on that show? Who were you? It's like, no one of note on that show. But I got to scream and die, like, every episode. So it was fantastic.
Alright. So, since you mentioned that was a part-timer, what was it like working on that show?
Say again, I'm sorry?
What was it like working on The Devil is a Part-Timer?
Oh, like I said, it was a great learning experience for me. Christopher Bevins, who directed it, really put me through my paces on that. I was still kind of new to the booth. And I think I'd only been with Funimation at that point for about not even 6 months when I first started reporting on that.
Oh, wow.
And I was just doing, like I said, very small parts, very short narration, things like that. So to play a very featured character on that show, Susanoo's, I think, in half the series, or half the season. And there was such an expectation for me personally. Be like, okay, I gotta do this right. But the thing is, I didn't know how to do it right yet. So Bevan's like, do it again. I need it like this. So I say the line. Do it with this, but more this. Try it this way. No, do it again. I need it faster. So I say it faster. Okay, slow it down. So I slow it. That's too slow. Speed it back up. And add this. You're losing this again. I was like, oh my God. So it was, like I said, it was a learning process for me. And when I finally got to the commentary on that one, with Felicia and Aaron and Tia is such a heavyweight voice actor. I mean, she's been there for a while, and she's very good at what she does. And she's like, so how long have you been here? I'm like 9 months, I think. And she's like, oh, wow, you're new. And I was like, like, well, it's great. I loved it. I was like, yay, people like me. They really like me. And I, like I said, that experience really shaped how I work in the booth now. It's like, okay, in working with other directors, you see how they approach characters. You see how they're like, I need it with this. And some of them will just be like, okay, can we squish that? And they'll turn to the mixer, the sound guy. And he's like, can you just squish it down? That was the read I wanted. I just need it a little faster. Can we take the air out of it? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. It's like, we need to do one more for safety and we'll be fine. Just do it exactly like that. And some are more focused on the intentions. Like, I didn't hear scared. I need more angry. So you try to give them the same read, but with that emotion behind it. So, like, working with Bevan's like, I need this. Give me this. I need it. No. Like, that's exactly what you just did. He's like, no, I need it with okay, sure. And so, working with him, I think he's been one of my harshest critics in the booth. But he gets what he wants, and his shows do very well because he knows exactly what he wants. And he can get the actor to give that to him. He's very good. I like it.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Good show though too. I love that was part-timer.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, that's the first I ever heard you in.
Oh really?
Yeah, the first one. I'm like, oh, because when I looked at him, like, Alex Moore. Oh, she did a great job.
Yay! Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next question. This one's kind of new.
Okay.
What was it like working on Lord Marksman and Vanadis?
That was a blast. I love working with Caitlin Glass. She and I actually work outside of Funimation every once in a while at the same theater. So it was nice to have her on, or to be with her on this one, and to be her second in this magical fantasy world. And we've gotten to know each other outside of the booth. So, like, we'll have, like, it's like, I need this private joke that we'll have. Or I'm like, okay, I know what that means. And then put that intention behind it. She's like, yes, that's what I needed. Thank you. And she's just very easy to work with. She works a lot like Bevan's, but she's like, can you give me just a little bit more of this? And it's like, I play it back. She's like, okay, awesome, moving on. And she's been in the industry for forever, and she knows both sides of the mic. She knows how to direct. She knows how to act, and she directs like an actor does. She's like, okay, this is the feel. This is what I'm looking for. Give me your interpretation. And then you do it, and she's like, okay, great, awesome. Can you give me a little bit more of this? And you do that. And you're like, awesome, great, moving on. She's amazing. I love working with her. And she's so funny. Well, every once in a while, she's like, watch this, and she'll play a YouTube clip or something. Yay, that's fun. Okay, get back to work. It was such a fun show. It was, like with most animes, it's always like, high school backdrop, harem show, something like that. And in this one, it was kind of a harem show, but a bit more D&D, save the day kind of Dungeons and Dragons campaign behind it. So you're like, awesome, okay, here we go. And then there are some big boobs, and you're like, okay, that's there too, but, fighting dragons and da-da-da. So it was a different genre than what I'm used to working with. But that was fantastic because it kind of made the same old trope a bit more new. So I didn't get comfortable with it. I didn't settle into my own usual routine of it. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of new. I have to approach the same thing a little differently. And I always love doing big scary lady voice. And Lim was such a badass in that show, and I was like, yeah, wake the guy up with the sword down his throat. That's awesome. I was like, that's how I do. It's like, I got you. I know what you want. And but my favorite part of Lord Marksman was doing the OVAs for that on the DVD release. If you get the Blu-ray, you'll get all, I think, 13 of the OVAs that are kind of in between each full show. And they're just maybe 5 minutes long and just little cartoon chibi theater kind of thing. And you find out, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, Lim has a very fierce obsession with teddy bears. And to the point where she's like making them dance and say, and has this whole action soap opera in her bedroom or whatever, and Ellen and Lord Tigra are hiding behind her bed going oh my god, she's playing with teddy bears. What? And she's like, what was that? Oh god. And they're like, oh no! And they'll pull out another teddy bear. It's like, this is unbearable. And I'm like, it was you talking to the teddy bear. And it just, the soap opera just continues. Oh no, we're just stuck. It's still going. And those were the best ones for me because I got to be silly and drop Lim serious business face and be her by herself and just playing with her teddy bears. Yeah, I can kill a guy. But look at this bear, it's adorable. Oh my god, you're so cute. So it was so much fun to just, and I can hear Caitlin cackling outside of the Whisper booth. And I'm just like, that's a keeper. I got this.
Great stuff. Alright, so here's a little fun trivia for some people who may not know about you. What's it like being a model?
It's fun. I do model. I love cosplay. I am a big ol' honkin' nerd about it. If you go onto my website, more.mixform.com, you can see a lot of it. If you go onto my Twitter, at +3, 2 ogres, OGRES. On Twitter, you can see a lot of what I've done. I'm currently working on a couple right now for A-Con, where I'm going to be a guest. I can't tell you anything about it just yet, but I'm going to stay up with me on Facebook or Twitter, and you will definitely see what I'm working on. But yeah, being a model is fun. It's nothing, like Victoria's Secret or, high-end fashion line. I'm not doing catwalks or anything like that. It's really just art photography a lot. Actually, a couple of projects I worked on in the past with Pocket Watch Books. You can go onto their website, pocketwatchbooks.com, and you can order these books. We're printing out a version of Alice in Wonderland, where I'll be the Queen of Hearts. I'm all big and scary with big hair and crazy eyes. And Bounty, which is kind of this awesome retelling of Mutiny on the Bounty, the classic novel, but it has pirates and mermaids, and I am a killer mermaid in this one. It's really fun. It's an original story written by Michael Clark, and he also shot the photography for this. And this has been in the making for, a couple of years now, so they're just now coming out. Like I said, you can order them on the website. Depending on when this airs, they should be officially out the end of April or beginning of May. So check that out. You can also follow them on Facebook at Pocket Watch Books. But yeah, I've done that. I worked with Brad Barton here locally. He shot a lot of my cosplay. My Anastasia gown, I think you can see that on my website. And Carmen Sandiego, I've done that. I was also featured in Cosplayers Among Us magazine. You can also follow them on Facebook and Twitter. I think it's the same thing. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's amazing. And the best part about being an art model is that you don't have to be the skinny, 100-pound, 6-foot, what we think of as the ideal body type. I mean, I've got a little bit of a tummy still. I'm 5'3". I'm wee. I'm very short. And they tell me I've got a great look. And I'm like, great, okay. And I've shot with women who are heavier and taller and are of different facial complexions and configurations, I guess. Some I would not be considered classically hot or beautiful, but they've got great personality. They have wonderful body presence, and that's really the best thing you can do as a cosplayer, or as a stage and film actor, is just be present, be there. It's not about being hot or giving the big doe eyes up to the camera and the pout and all this and pushing everything out. It's just be there. This is me. If you look confident in front of the photographer, they will make you look like a god. And that's all you got to do. Being a model is just acting, but very still. That's all it is. And I don't know, some people that's daunting, and I'm like, put me in front of a camera. Let me show you what I got. It's fun. It's great. I thoroughly recommend it.
Nice. Okay then, now it's time for our funny question.
Sure.
If you can be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix a match.
Okay, let me see. I would have to do a composite of characters here, because they all have their flaws, but they all have their awesome strengths too. I would want Limalicia's height and physical strength. She's, like I said, she's a badass. She's my Xena warrior princess, and I'm like, yeah, rock it. But I would want Susanoo's discipline. She's very calm. She's very reserved. She thinks, like Limalicia, very tactically, but she'll wait that extra step. She will okay, here we go, charge into battle, Limalicia. But Susan is like, let me see how this is going to play out. Let me see what they move first. So I'd want that kind of the patience to use the strength. I want Flair's hair. Whoa. And I've got long hair, but not crazy 50-foot mane fire hair. Should probably come in handy every once in a while, but shampoo days would be awful. Who else? I would want Mitsuba from Seraph of the End. I would want her loyalty and steadfastness. She's very committed to the team, and she knows that you have to be able to work with others to accomplish a goal. I'm very lone wolf. Get out of my way, I'll get it done because I want it done this way. But she's like, it doesn't work that way. You need to work together, because you saw Seraph of the End. You know what she does, and you know what Yuichiro does when he goes off on his own. It's just, oh my god, stop. No, come back. Okay, now we're in trouble. Stay in formation! So, I think that's the conglomeration of traits I would want from my characters.
I like it. That's a good combination. Everything. Just well put.
Thank you.
Alright, so another show I worked on. What was it like working on Sky Wizards Academy?
Sky Wizards was great because that was Felicia Angels, who played the hero Amelia on Devil's a Part-Timer. This was her first show to direct.
Oh.
So this was her fledgling effort, and she cast it exceedingly well. I'm not saying, me, but I mean, like, the main three. Dawn and Megan and Tia and Joel, of course. Very strong cast who knows what to do going into the booth. So she really just gave, for me, very little direction, or, it's like, I need it this way, give me this, here's the scene set up, go. And then just tweak from there. It was amazing to watch her, since it was one of the broadcast dubs, I was going in almost every week to record my lines as Freon. And watching her develop and figure out new ways to do things, to say things, and refine her process was, as an actor, it was amazing, because I've worked with people, or the directors I've usually worked with have been doing it for years and are like mainstays of Funimation. And watching someone new come up onto the other side of the booth and be like, okay, here we go. Everyone's learning. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And it was really exciting for me. Like, yay, go Felicia. I love it. It was, she's a friend. And I was like, oh, it's so wonderful to watch your friend succeed at something. You're just so proud of them. And I think that the show, for what it was, we called it Anime the Anime. And, because, I mean, it's just, okay, here we go. Magic and flying and harem show and devil beetles and giant weapons and all of this. It's like, I think we've nailed all the bases here, haven't we? And getting such a read out of it was fantastic. And I loved working on this show, as silly as it was. It was great.
Wow, so much wows in that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was amazing. And the reception was very positive, and I think she's working on something else right now. I can't say what yet, but everyone will be very surprised.
Sure they will. So, since you mentioned another show earlier, what was it like working on Seraph of the End?
Seraph of the End, wow. This one was daunting. I haven't played a big role like that since part-timer, to be part of a main team, and do it on a weekly basis. Working with Jerry Jewell directed this one, and coming in week after week. This was like the first long-run broadcast dub I had worked on. So watching the story develop, and I only watching it in bits and pieces in the booth, and then waiting for that week's episode to come out, and I'd watch it, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. Oh no, that's what's going on. What are you doing? And I was like, I saw this episode. It's like, so is this leading into this? And he's like, you just have to wait and see, Alex. And I was like so antsy about it. It was fun though. I'm all about post-apocalyptic vampires and all of this, and it was great working off of Micah and Ian and Felicia again, and who else was on that? Justin. This was, I think, Justin Briner, who played what's his name? Mika. Couldn't think of his name. The Yuichiro's vampire friend from their orphan days. This was one of his first big ones, I think. So it was kind of nice to bring him in. I was like, hey, welcome to the crazy. Yay, I remember this day. It was like exciting for him. And just being able to, I think it was different this time around because it was 1 week after another recording, that you'd pass the other actors in the hallway and be like, oh, hey, oh my God, wait till you get to today's, like, have you recorded this episode yet? Oh my God, wait. and every once in a while we'd all go out for lunch and hang out and stuff like that. And you don't usually get that kind of camaraderie with voice actors recording a show, because it's very isolated. You're in for an hour or two every week or so, and you're like, and you don't really know who else is on the show until you get to the commentary. I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I played off of your lines. You're really good, kind of thing. And in this one, I kind of got to hang out with the actors a little bit. It was almost like doing a stage play where you're in rehearsal every night. And developing that kind of like private joke relationship with them, and we get into commentaries. When the DVD comes out, you'll hear a lot of it, and we just be like making fun of each other and all of this, and like making private jokes, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a different experience because of that. So I'm hoping with knocking on wood, there's a season 2. I would love to come back for that. That more long run shows like that, like 24 episode shows, get back onto the Double Talk block, and more broadcast dubs come out like that. So you get a bit more a friendlier relationship with the other voice actors on that. That would be fun.
All right. So is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in this time?
Like I said at the beginning of this, Pandora in the Crimson Shell, Ghost Urn, that's the complete title, is finishing its run, I think, in a couple of weeks. I'm recording my last lines today, I believe. And I've done a couple of voices here and there on other shows. I just auditioned for something that will be coming out next simuldub season. I haven't heard back on that one yet, but stay tuned, like I said, on my Twitter, and that should be popping up pretty soon to see if I get that or not. And anyway, you should watch it because it's a fun show.
All right, so last question, and we always ask this to all the voice actors. Any Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Absolutely. I mentioned them earlier. If you follow me on Twitter, you can find me at plus, the word spelled out, +3, number 3, 2 ogres, OGRES. And on my Facebook, you can sign on to my fan page at AlexMoore:actor. There's a picture of me on there. It's hard to miss me. And let's see, you can also go onto my website, more.mixform, mixform.com. You can contact me there. You can contact me on the Facebook page. You can contact me on Twitter. I'm usually pretty good about answering fan messages and stuff like that. And if you want me out at cons, I would love to do that. Have the con get in contact with me, or tell me about the con, and have the con chair or their guest relations people check out my Twitter and my Facebook page, and they can get a hold of me that way.
Will do. All right. Well, thank you, Alex, for sparing us your time. We're honored. And we want to thank our fans for tuning in for another episode of the Ohio Guys. I'm Christian Ocampo.
I'm Alex Moore.
And we will all see you next time. Bye-bye.